Something is changing, not just in the world, not just in politics, not just in the skies, but in the atmosphere itself. There is a tension many people cannot explain, a quiet heaviness, a feeling that something is building beneath the surface of everyday life. News feels different, conversations feel different, even ordinary routines feel fragile. It is as if something is approaching, something prophetic, something ancient, something spoken about long ago, and today we are going to talk about it. But before we go any further, if you are new here, subscribe right now. This is where we look at world events through a spiritual lens. If you feel that stirring in your spirit, if you sense that something deeper is happening in our time, then you belong here. Now let's begin. For thousands of years, Scripture has spoken about a period unlike any other in human history. A time of global distress, a time of powerful deception, a time of tribulation. Jesus warned about it clearly. In Matthew 24, he spoke of wars and rumors of wars, nation rising against nation, kingdom against kingdom, famines, pestilences, earthquakes in different places. But what is most striking is what he called them. The beginning of sorrows, not the end, the beginning. That means the early signs would look like birth pains, increasing in frequency and intensity before the final moment arrives. When we look at our world today, it becomes difficult to ignore the similarities. Conflict spreads across continents. Economies tremble. Food shortages are no longer distant problems. Strange diseases emerge suddenly. Natural disasters dominate headlines. But here is the question many avoid. Are these events random, or are they signs? The book of Revelation describes a time when seals are opened and judgments unfold step by step. For centuries, many believed these prophecies were symbolic. But today, something feels different. For the first time in history, the mechanisms described in Revelation are technologically possible. The Bible speaks of a time when no one can buy or sell without a certain mark. For thousands of years, that seemed impossible. How could such global control ever exist? Today, digital currencies are being developed. Biometric identification is expanding. Artificial intelligence can track behavior and patterns across entire populations. The infrastructure exists. That alone should make us pause. Prophecy requires patience. When Noah warned about the flood, people laughed. There had never been a flood like that before. Life continued normally, until it didn't. Jesus said the last days would be like the days of Noah. People eating, drinking, marrying, building, living ordinary lives. And then suddenly, everything changed. Look around today. Life appears normal on the surface. People work, travel, plan for the future. But beneath the surface, instability grows. Financial systems feel fragile. Global tensions escalate quickly. Truth seems blurred. Moral boundaries shift constantly. Many believers sense we are standing at the edge of something prophetic. But tribulation is not only about disasters. It is also spiritual. Scripture warns about deception so powerful it could mislead many. False teachings, false leaders, false hope. Today, confusion about truth is everywhere. Information is abundant, but clarity is rare. Narratives clash constantly. Division spreads rapidly. Is that coincidence or preparation? Revelation describes a global leader who appears to bring peace and solutions. But that peace is temporary. History shows us something important. When fear increases, people accept control they would normally resist. During crisis, freedoms can quietly disappear. And once surrendered, they are difficult to recover. So when we say they are here, what does that really mean? It may not mean visible beings walking among us. It may mean systems are forming. It may mean spiritual forces influencing decisions behind the scenes. Scripture reminds us that we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers. The real battle is invisible. Tribulation is not only destruction, it is exposure. It reveals what is hidden. It exposes the true condition of the human heart. Before the darkest period unfolds, there is often a shaking. We are seeing that shaking now. Polarization is increasing. Neutrality is fading. Lines are being drawn across politics, culture, and faith. Jesus said in the last days the love of many would grow cold. Look carefully. Patience is thin. Compassion often feels scarce. Outrage spreads faster than understanding. And yet, something else is happening. People are searching for meaning. Prayer movements are rising. Individuals who once ignored faith are now asking deeper questions. Why? Because when darkness increases, light becomes more visible. Tribulation is terrifying for those who are unprepared. But for believers, it is confirmation that prophecy unfolds exactly as written. Now let's be honest. Does this mean the tribulation officially begins tomorrow? No. No one knows the day or hour. But Jesus said we would recognize the season. You may not know exactly when a storm will strike, but you can see clouds gathering. And many believe the clouds are gathering now. Some argue that every generation believed they were living in the last days. That is true, but no generation before ours has possessed global digital financial systems, instant worldwide communication, weapons capable of destroying the planet many times over, artificial intelligence monitoring human behavior at scale. For the first time in history, global control systems described in prophecy are realistic possibilities. That deserves serious reflection. But hear this clearly. The purpose of this message is not fear. It is awareness. Tribulation is described as a time of testing, a revealing of loyalties. The real question is not, when will it happen? The real question is, are you ready? If systems shift overnight, if freedoms tighten, if deception increases, will your faith remain steady? Because tribulation does not create faith. It exposes it. Revelation does not end in chaos. It ends in restoration. It ends with justice. It ends with evil defeated. It ends with renewal. But before restoration, turbulence increases. We may already feel early waves. Economic uncertainty, political instability, cultural confusion, spiritual apathy. These may be birth pains, and birth pains intensify before the final moment. Scripture says creation itself groans in anticipation. We may be living in a transitional generation, not necessarily the final hour, but perhaps the beginning of the final chapter. They are here may refer to the signs, the systems forming quietly, the infrastructure expanding, the spiritual tension increasing. The tribulation may not begin with thunder. It may begin quietly, policy by policy, crisis by crisis, compromise by compromise, until one day people look around and realize they are already inside it. But here is the most important truth. You do not need to live in fear. Fear paralyzes. Faith prepares. If prophecy is unfolding, then God is not surprised. If tribulation approaches, redemption draws nearer. The call is not panic. It is preparation. We live in a generation flooded with information but starving for wisdom. Do not be distracted by noise. Watch carefully. Pray consistently. Discern wisely. If we are standing on the edge of prophetic fulfillment, this is not a time to sleep spiritually. It is a time to awaken. And if this message stirred something in you, that quiet urgency you cannot explain, you are not alone. Many feel it. The tribulations may be closer than we think. But so is hope. So is deliverance. So is the return of the King. If this message spoke to you, subscribe to the channel right now. We are building a community that chooses awareness over fear, faith over panic, discernment over distraction. Like this video so it reaches someone who needs clarity. Share it with someone who feels the shift but cannot explain it. And comment below. Do you believe we are approaching tribulation? Or are these just cycles of history repeating? Thank you for watching. Stay watchful. Stay grounded. Stay prepared. Because something is unfolding, and the wise will recognize it.